Hello, my name is Sasha Lal and I work within the corporate immigration team at Gherson Solicitors. Today I'll briefly discuss with you 5 key facts in relation to right to work checks and also the current COVID-19 provisions that are in place in relation to right to work checks. If you are an employer in the UK, it is mandatory for you to carry out right to work checks on all employees, and you must do this prior to the commencement of their actual start date of work. In some circumstances, you must do a follow-up check in relation to the employee's current right to work checks if they have temporary status in the UK. Fact 1. If you complete a correct right to work check, you will have a statutory excuse against a civil penalty. Therefore, if the Home Office find that you have hired someone who is an illegal worker in the UK, but you have correctly carried out the right to work checks, they will not fine you in terms of a civil penalty, which could be up to £20,000. Fact 2. There are 2 different types of right to work checks that can be carried out. The first way is carrying out the manual right to work check. So how do you do this? Firstly, you must obtain the original document that you are going to carry out the right to work check on. This must be the person's identification documents. Secondly, you must check that the documents are valid. The third thing that you must do is you must copy the document and retain it. In terms of copying the document whilst retaining it, you must also sign and date the day that you saw the original document. Another way in which you can carry out a right to work check is via the online process. How this can happen is the employee who you intend to sponsor or employ must provide you with a share code. If they do not want to provide you with the share code, you will be required to carry out the check manually instead, as we previously discussed. Please note that you cannot carry out online checks on all employees. You are only able to carry out online right to work checks on employees that have provided you with a biometric residence permit or are susceptible to the EU settlement scheme. How do you carry out an online right to work check? It is very similar to how you carry out the manual check. You must obtain the document, which does not have to be in the original form, but can be a copy that they have sent to you. You must review the documents whilst the person is on a video link with you and must ensure that the documents are legitimate. If you require further information, Gherson can provide you with this. Fact 3. Due to COVID-19, the right to work checks have become slightly more flexible in terms of how you manually check a document. The Home Office introduced a COVID-19 provision on the 30th of March 2020. They have now extended this provision, which will be in place until the 5th of April 2022. So how do you carry this type of right to work check? Firstly, you must have the employee on video link. This can be via Zoom or Skype or one of your online platforms. Secondly, they must hold up the document, such as the passport, and you must also have a copy of this document. On the copy of the document, whilst you are checking these via the video link, you must insert a phrase onto this copy, such as adjusted checks undertaken on such date due to COVID-19. These checks first came in place on the 30th of March 2020. Previously, you were required to do a retrospective check, how you would usually be required to check the manual right to work checks or the online check. However, the Home Office has introduced confirmation to say that provided you carry out this COVID-19 provision check correctly, you are not required to do retrospective checks. Fact 4. In some circumstances, if you find that the individual is unable to provide you with the correct documents whilst carrying out the right to work check prior to their employment, you must terminate or stop their employment immediately. In some instances, the individual may not be able to provide you with their relevant documents, such as the biometric card, because they may have an application outstanding with the Home Office. This would usually apply to those who need to extend their current status in the UK. If this is the case, because you are required to carry out retrospective checks, you are able to contact the Home Office via an online checking service called the Employer Checking Service. This is a different check to the online right to work check as previously discussed. And again, if you do require further information, Gherson are happy to assist you with this. Fact 5. As of 1st of July 2021, EU nationals who are commencing employment in the UK are required to demonstrate their status within the UK to show that they have the correct right to work. This is fairly similar to other foreign nationals who have always been required to show you that they've got the right to work in the UK. Therefore, for these EU nationals, you must carry out right to work checks using the manual right to work check or either the online right to work check. Gherson are specialists within corporate immigration. If you have any queries or questions in relation to what we have discussed today, please do not hesitate to contact us via email or even via Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, and we would be happy to help. Thank you for listening today.